My fiancé gave me his heart, but I broke it before even saying I do. By hooking up with the one man who hurt him the most. Posted by You Throw Ram. Terrible. I don't even know why I'm writing this here. I just did the worst thing I could possibly do. And I just want to confess to someone, but I can't. I know for a fact that the most important relationship of my entire life will be ruined. My fiancé, Alex, fake name, 32 million, and I, 28F, have been together for 4 years, and we're supposed to get married on December 28th. We had our bachelor/bachelorette parties last weekend because everyone was in town for the holidays. That's why we're having the wedding on the 28th. Everyone will already be here for the holidays, so attending the wedding won't be a big deal. Alex is everything I want in a man. He's kind, funny, and charming, tall and handsome. He's helpful, a leader, and he's successful in his work with a great future. He's also really thoughtful. One time we were shopping, and I looked at this butterfly decoration just in passing. Later on, I got it for my birthday. He remembered that I liked it, went back, bought it for me, and surprised me with it. Our bedroom life is very satisfying to me, and I think to him as well. He's not perfect, of course, and we have our disagreements like any other couple, but we're great together. I feel safe and loved with him. When we first got together, the subject of our past partners came up. I didn't have a lot of past partners, as all my relationships were long-term. I had 3 boyfriends before Alex. The previous one was Jake, fake name. Jake was gorgeous. He had a very magnetic personality and always dominated whatever room he walked into. I felt so lucky when he chose me to be his girlfriend. We had a very intense physical connection that I sort of lost myself in. In every other way, Jake was terrible. He cheated on me, stood me up on multiple occasions, and forgot important events like my birthday and my best friend's engagement party. I finally broke up with him. He didn't seem to really care about it, though, which hurt. He just ghosted me when I said I had enough. The reason I mentioned this is because I told Alex about Jake. At first, he didn't connect the dots, but when I described Jake, he asked me if it was Jake last name. I said, "How do you know?" And he told me that Jake had stolen his girlfriend from high school when they were all freshmen in college. It really hurt Alex, as he thought he would marry this girl. Jake later dumped her and she tried to get back with Alex, but Alex rejected her, telling me that she was disgusting. Alex was quiet around me for a few days after that, but he came around, thankfully. During my bachelorette party last weekend, one of my bridesmaids, Claire, fake name, invited a bunch of our old friend group to the Airbnb we were renting as a surprise. I thought they had all moved away, but they showed up. And yes, you guessed it, Jake was there too. I was pretty drunk, but I can't say I didn't know what I was doing. Jake was still really good looking, and he talked only to me that night. He only flirted with me and no one else. He was charming. My inhibitions were down, and we eventually went to a bedroom and hooked up. The next morning, I was mortified. I told Jake that it meant nothing and that he needed to leave and not contact me again. Jake told me that he had changed and was serious about me. I told him to go and to please just shut up and leave. He seemed sad, but he left. I made him swear to forget about it all, and he did swear. I told Claire to keep quiet about it and not tell anyone about Jake. She was the only one who really knew about our past relationship, as she was part of the friend group. She agreed and said it was no big deal, just one last fling before marriage. I think she was the only one who saw us go back to the bedroom, but I can't be sure. All I know is that Jake and I were the least drunk people there, and we were still pretty drunk. Meanwhile, it's been eating at me constantly. I can't sleep or eat. I'm afraid my wedding dress will be too big for me because I have this fear in the pit of my stomach, and I throw up whenever I think about Jake and what I did, which is all the time. I have to confess to someone, so I think a bunch of internet strangers is the easiest way to do it. I know I'm terrible, and I know I screwed this up. I can't lose Alex. Why didn't I think of him when I was there last Saturday? Why didn't I consider Alex? I'm such an effing idiot. He's the best thing that ever happened to me, and Jake is the worst. Alex has started to notice my changed attitude. I lied to him and told him that I think I'm coming down with the flu and that he should stay away for a few days. Meanwhile, I'm crying my eyes out in bed, and Alex is being his usual great self, bringing me homemade chicken, noodle soup his mom made. I can't tell him, but I can't stand this. Does it go away over time? I wish this was just a nightmare. Update 5 days later, Alex found out and he's done with me. I wanted to update everyone who read my original post. Even though it's humiliating and painful, the truth is out. Alex knows, and the consequences have been worse than I could have imagined. I have no one to blame but myself. Thursday evening, Alex didn't come home after work. I thought maybe he was staying late, but around 9 p.m. I got a text from him. It was a photo of me and Jake kissing at my bachelorette party. No words, just the photo. I panicked and immediately texted Claire asking if she had told Alex. She replied that he deserved to know the truth. I don't think she did it to be malicious. Maybe she was feeling guilty herself. But at that moment, I was freaking out. I started spamming Alex's phone with calls and texts begging him to talk to me. He left me on read. Then I logged on to social media and saw that Alex had posted that our wedding was canceled because the woman I thought I was marrying turned out to be someone I didn't know. People started calling and messaging me, asking what was going on. I didn't know what to say. I panicked and lied, telling them we had a huge argument, but we're working it out. Meanwhile, Alex was replying to comments under his post, saying things like she knows what she did and there's nothing left to say. Friday night, Jake showed up at my apartment. He said he was sorry, claimed he didn't know Alex was my fiancé, and tried to explain himself. I told him it didn't matter what we did. Ruined the best thing in my life, and I wanted Jake gone. I told him to leave and not come back. He tried to linger, saying something about how we could figure this out, but I slammed the door on him. He makes my skin crawl. Then, on Saturday morning, the hammer dropped. Alex's older brother Mark showed up with 2 of Alex's groomsmen. They knocked, came in, and started packing up Alex's things. His clothes, his personal items, even some of the furniture that belonged to him. I tried to talk to them, begging them to tell me where Alex was, or how I could reach him. But they just ignored me or said they didn't know where he was, which was probably a lie. Mark kept repeating that there was nothing to talk about. When they were done, Mark told me that Alex wanted me to keep the engagement ring. He said Alex didn't want it back because he had no use for it, and selling it wouldn't make up for what had happened. He also told me Alex would be sending a check to cover my share of the canceled wedding costs, and that is half of the lease was paid for. I begged Mark to at least put Alex on the phone with me so he could yell at me and I could apologize where he could hear my voice. Mark just said Alex had all the closure he needed, and I should stop contacting him because I had done enough. Mark used to be so kind to me, like a big brother. He was excited about the wedding, calling himself the future crazy uncle. Now he was cold and distant, talking like I was a stranger. That was when it really hit me. Alex was gone, and my life was gone too. I can't afford to stay in the apartment. Alex paid the rent and utilities while I handled groceries, cooking, and chores. I don't make enough as a personal trainer to cover everything on my own. And I let my certifications lapse months ago because we planned on me being a traditional stay-at-home wife and mother after the wedding, which is something I really wanted. I've started packing my things and will be moving back in with my parents. I haven't told them the full story yet, just that the wedding is off. They've been supportive, but I know the full conversation is coming and it's going to be excruciating. My friends are avoiding me too. Some have unfollowed me on social media, and Claire hasn't responded to any of my messages since she told Alex. I don't even know how to begin rebuilding my life from this. I've lost everything that mattered to me because of one selfish, stupid decision. Alex was my rock, my future, and the best thing that ever happened to me. And I threw it all away for nothing. I betrayed him in the worst way possible, and I'll have to live with that for the rest of my life. He won't even talk to me. It's driving me crazy that I can't at least apologize to him in person. To Michael. Real name. I know you'll never see this. I'm sorry. I know my apology means nothing, but I'll regret what I did for the rest of my life. You deserve so much better, and I failed you in every way that mattered. old and gray, even if I find someone else, you'll always be in my heart. I love you to the moon and back. And I don't think I'll ever be able to love someone else the way I love you. There will always be a part of me that's yours.
Now I have to figure out how to pick up the pieces. My life as I knew it is gone, and I have no one to blame but myself. Commenter, I